Well, welcome everyone. We're going to be starting here shortly. Hi, my name is Jenny Whitener, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to Coaching Circles, Accelerating Leader Development. Today, I just want to start by asking you all who are participating to say hello to our presenter today, Mary Axelsen. So if you'll use the chat, go in and just maybe introduce yourself, your name and your organization. I see Ingrid, hello, and Kimberly, thank you so much. So just invite you to use the chat throughout today's session to just highlight things that you're observing about Mary's presentation, maybe pose questions to each other and challenge each other. Rachel, thanks for saying hello. And Nikki and Lisa, thank you so much. I see Ian coming in now. So we have a large group with us today. So feel free to introduce yourselves, your name and your organization so that you can get to know each other as well as get to know Mary today in our presentation. So again, welcome to everyone. Continue to share and introduce yourselves in the chat. That would be great. So you'll know as participants who all is joining today. So again, welcome to Coaching Circles, Accelerating Leader Development. We are recording today's presentation, so keep that in mind as we move ahead today. So let's continue on. This program is being brought to you by Bridge Innovate. It is a part of our Inspire series. We started about a year ago, tapping into the magnificent wisdom of a number of our partners and leaders throughout the community that were doing great innovative things and asking them to share their stories with others as a part of inspiration. And we're thrilled today to have Mary Axelsen with us. So that's a part of our focus in bringing innovation sparks to our community. If you think about Bridge Innovate generally on the next slide, and what we stand for and what we believe, Bridge Innovate is built on partnerships with our clients and partnerships with talented consultants throughout the world. And Mary Axelsen is absolutely one of those individuals. We believe that there is a power in collective wisdom, that it's by working together, sharing inspiring stories, what's worked and what's not worked, that we all get better together. We believe in human-centered design and being focused with our customers and people first. And we believe in foresight, looking ahead at future trends and being ready for them to spark strategy and innovation. And all of that comes together both in the for-profit arena and in our Innovation for Good work, where we believe in giving back. And that's what we're doing today in the Inspire series. Mary is graciously offered to donate her time today to share her story, as do all of our speakers on the Inspire series, and they are a part of our Innovation for Good effort. So welcome. I see more people sharing in the chat. Hello, so please continue to do that. As we think about today's program, it's my great honor to invite and say hello to Mary Axelsen, our presenter today. She is the founder and CEO of WeMaax. Mary has extraordinary background as a senior HR executive with multiple large corporations from the Fortune 250 across multiple sectors. She's covered every spectrum of advising and guiding in the human resources arena. She's worked with areas in terms of diversity and inclusion to all the aspects of human resources and leadership development and talent development and all of the aspects of organizational change and improving operations through talent. So we're excited to invite Mary today and have her share her perspective with us on Coaching Circles. So I'll turn it over to Mary.
Thanks, Jenny. I really appreciate that introduction. So I'm just going to share my screen here. All right. Well, first of all, I want to say to you, I'm super pumped to be here with you today. I love talking about coaching circles and how it's critical to accelerating development. I've been working with Fortune 500 companies, facilitating these circles, and look forward to sharing some of the experiences that I've had with you. So at WeMaax Consulting, we really care about maximizing performance and potential in individuals and organizations. And we focus on 3 core areas. That's coaching individuals and teams, organizational and cultural change, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as Jenny shared with you, I've been working with executives, leaders at various levels for years as far as building capabilities, addressing gaps, and leading transformative change across industries to include retail, biotech, healthcare, financial services, and insurance. And you will see underneath there some of my current clients that I'm working with, as well as a couple of the nonprofit organizations that I also volunteer for. Olympia Snow's Women Leadership Institute that develops girls into female leaders, as well as the Dempsey Center that provides free services to those impacted by cancer. So let's get going. So our agenda today, we're going to focus on having a good understanding of the current state of development right now and as into the future, as well as understanding what a coaching circle is and why it's critical in accelerating development, and then how to go about creating a coaching circle. So before we jump in, we're going to launch our first poll. So Luke, if you can help me. And hear what CHROs have to say about their current talent and development capabilities. So if you can go ahead. Ooh, love what I'm seeing. There's a race between 35 and 55. Ooh, 75 is getting up there. All right, Luke, how about a couple more seconds and then we'll stop the poll. All right, well, for those of you who said 55%, you are absolutely correct. So Luke, if we can take the poll down.
Yeah, Mary, go ahead and click the X.
Great, thank you. All right, so according to Harvard Business Review, they surveyed mid-market CHROs, and they shared that their training and development capabilities are weak to 55% of them said are weak to extremely weak. In addition, they said 47% of critical roles could only be filled by the current leaders. And then when they looked even deeper into their talent pipeline and succession plans, that number got even worse, with only 11% of HR leaders saying that they have the talent that they need to fill their most senior leader roles in the organization. In addition, US News reported that by the year 2025, we will have a 2.5 million gap in STEM jobs. And I anticipate that number to be much higher because it was actually reported out in 2018 prior to the pandemic. And I anticipate it's higher considering that we've needed to accelerate our digital capabilities to support our virtual workforce. I will also say to you that as a former HR leader of a biotech company, that those numbers are very much in line with what I saw. I managed talent reviews and succession plans and often was looking at having a gap of 80% as far as succession positions were concerned. So I think we could absolutely say that we're experiencing a talent and development crisis, with 59% of companies focused on upskilling and reskilling their employees, and 30% of companies saying this is absolutely necessary to be able to meet their revenue and growth goals. So not only is this important for the reasons why I've just stated, it's also critical in relation to employee engagement. According to the Gallup organization, 70% of employee engagement is influenced by leaders and managers. Additionally, 1 out of 2 employees leave their organization as a result of their managers. We've all heard the saying that employees leave managers, not companies. Additionally, with COVID, managing employee burnout is at an all-time high and a major retention risk. Employees and leaders are balancing homeschooling, childcare, Zoom fatigue, working 100% in a virtual environment with little to no interaction with their colleagues and their peers and their leadership. 5 million women have left the workforce during the pandemic, having a huge impact on gender equity. And all of this places greater demands on leaders to be more empathetic and compassionate and inclusive and know how to coach and develop so they can appropriately manage workloads. In addition, we're seeing more and more of a need to have inclusion and equity and diversity be a part of organizations, with 75% of companies indicating that DEI is critical to their future financial performance and sustainability. I would also say to you, in coaching circles, I see this stress playing out in leadership. And what they're doing is they're actually spending more time doing, because they're so concerned about their employees' workload that it's affecting their ability to lead. So during our coaching circles, we actually end up spending time on how do you do a better job of prioritizing, determining what the most important work is, delegating that appropriately so that employees have a better workload. So we certainly have a gap in the skills that are needed currently as well into the future. And there is a great need for development. So what is development? Development is identifying the skill, the capability, the behavior that is needed to elevate your performance in your current position or to ready you for the next position. It's also about identifying those on-the-job experiences and the support that's needed so that you can develop that skill. So the Center for Creative Leadership identified 4 core leadership skills that are needed for every career. Now, I would say to you that they say 4, I would say they packed a lot underneath each of those sections. So self-awareness, communication, influence, and learning agility. So self-awareness is about understanding the strengths and the gaps that you have so that you know where to focus from a talent development perspective. It is really important when you're developing a new skill to know what your strengths are so that you can leverage them in relation to the skill that you're wanting to develop. Additionally, self-awareness is about emotional intelligence and knowing how to adjust and adapt your style based upon your employees' needs and your audience needs. Communication is about having the ability to effectively communicate information and ideas so that employees understand the strategic intent and the vision of the organization and how their work and their jobs are aligned with that. It is also about encouragement and giving meaningful support and feedback. And most importantly, it's about bringing employees along with you so you inspire trust. Influence. This is the skill that we end up talking about the most in coaching circles. And it is critical in your ability to manage across work groups, across the team, across the enterprise, to be able to get the work done and achieve the desired outcomes. And then finally, learning agility is about having a growth mindset, being able to ask insightful questions, learning from your mistakes, being open to receiving and giving feedback, and also creating learning in others. So I'd love for us to take a break right now and for you to share some of the skills that you're focused on developing or some of the skills that you see within your organization that are being focused on. Thank you, Danielle, for sharing also that resource on the National Association of Colleges and Employers. Digital fluency, absolutely. Kim, there's more and more out there in relation to the adjustments that we're having to make from a virtual workforce perspective, that digital capabilities and fluency as far as leaders are concerned in meeting customer expectations is just accelerating. Coaching, future scenario planning. Right. We'll keep them coming. And so the leadership challenge, so the DDI did a 2021 global trend study for leaders. And 55% of CEOs are saying that developing the next generation of leaders is their top challenge. And it is the single most critical skill needed in the next 3 years. Yet only 1 in 3 leaders are effective in coaching and developing talent. Additionally, this study reveals that when companies integrate coaching into their organizational effectiveness, it increases employee engagement, collaboration, retention, and job satisfaction. When companies have a coaching culture, they're better prepared to quickly adapt. They've created the type of environment necessary to give and receive feedback and make those adjustments that are necessary to adjust to the current climate. They also do a better job of managing talent priorities and supporting employees' physical and emotional well-being. A strong coaching culture equals a high-performing organization that is better at adapting and achieving transformative change. So I'd love to ask another question and see how many people here actually have an individual development plan aligned with their career path. You can say yes or no. Oh, Kimberly, raise her hand. Yes, love to see that. No, no, working on it. No. No. And that I'm seeing a lot more no's right now, which would really fit in alignment with what the research is showing. Yet we see here how critical it is for employee engagement, retention, and job satisfaction. So when we think about leadership effectiveness, people receiving coaching are seen as more effective, satisfied in their jobs, and inspiring to others, and more likely to take that extra step, go that extra mile to achieve the desired results. So the best leaders aren't necessarily well-rounded. They're not going to have all those skills that the Creative Center for Creative Leadership highlighted. But what they are really good at is having well-rounded teams, right? Knowing how to leverage the strengths within the team, delegating work, giving talent development opportunities, right? And celebrating those wins with the team. So when you know how to delegate, when you bring other people into getting the work done and driving the change, this also helps employees to be more open to the resistance that they're experiencing, some of the discomfort that they're going to experience as they go through the change. They're more likely to engage in relation to how to work through that, be resilient, and achieve the desired results. So we're going to do another quick poll and talk about coaching circles, what they are, and how to have a coaching circle. So the question is, what does a coaching circle focus on? All right, love the results I'm seeing come in. All right, Luke, why don't we give a couple more seconds? All right, so for those of you that said all of the above, you are absolutely correct. Oh. So a coaching circle creates a coaching culture and is important in relation to accelerating development. And it consists of 4 key components. That's, first of all, the business need, making sure, understanding what the business need is, aligning that business need with the skill that needs to get developed, bringing a group of people together who have a common desire and commitment towards growth, learning, and development, and that are willing to step into a situation where they'll be vulnerable, experience some discomfort, so that you can have peer-to-peer learning, where you understand what you're doing well and where those adjustments need to be. So a business need could be the launch of a new product. It could be a strategic marketing plan to increase sales with current customers by cross-selling and upselling. It could be about increasing customer experience metrics. It could be about implementing new technology, like we've been talking about as far as the digital capabilities are concerned. A coaching circle also has a leader, a coach, who guides the coaching the team norms, the expectations, and the commitments, and holds that team accountable to those ground rules, to those commitments, and the growth that they've established. The leader is also responsible for role modeling what that coaching behavior looks like. Because again, we have two primary focuses. We want to develop a new skill, and we want to learn how to coach so that we can take that coaching ability out to our direct reports and our peers and be better at coaching and developing talent. So I'm going to give you a real life example of 3 leaders that I'm working with right now in a coaching circle. I've changed their names, but what they're working on is real. So we have Stacy, Joe, and Ella. Stacy is a technical leader with direct reports who is responsible for one product line. She aspires to lead managers and have a broader suite of products that she's responsible for. She's very well known in the company for her technical knowledge and expertise and is often sought out to solve complex problems. She recently applied for a director level position where she would be managing managers, but she wasn't selected, and the feedback that she received is that she needs to demonstrate more strategic ability. Joe just recently took on a new team who had a long-standing leader, and he sees opportunities to improve the team's performance, improve processes, and leverage technology. Their customer experience ratings right now are average, and Joe knows that those need to increase if they're going to meet their customer retention goals. And then finally, Ella. She's an operational manager with broad accountabilities who's a succession hire that was recently brought into the organization and is also co-leading the race and ethnicity ERG. She sees an opportunity to be clear about what the priorities of the ERG are, put the plan together, leverage her executive sponsor, and give members of the ERG an opportunity to lead initiatives, developing critical skill sets and giving them visibility in the organization. So how does it work? So first of all, it works by identifying what the individual development plan will be, which is the roadmap for the development. Again, that coaching circle has 2 primary goals. It's to develop the skill and also to learn how to coach. And remember, only 33% of leaders are effective at coaching and developing talent. Yet, what they say is their preferred method of learning is to have an external coach as well as development assignments. So this fits in very much with the way that leaders prefer to learn. So we'll start off by understanding what the why, the what, and the how is. So what is that skill aligned with that business need? What do you hope to accomplish, and what are the benefits associated with it? And what are those specific on-the-job experiences that you're going to have that are going to stretch and challenge you, cause you to take risks, feel vulnerable, receive feedback, and then make the adjustments. So if we go back to Joe, Ella, and Stacy, Stacy's going to focus on strategic ability. Joe wants to be a leader of change. And Ella wants to make sure that diverse talent in the organization is getting development opportunities and raising their visibility. They're also going to look at KPIs or metrics that they have with the organization that they can leverage as a way to understand if they're making progress and they're actually being successful as far as the skill that they want to develop. That could be employee engagement scores, that could be net promoter, other customer experience metrics, or KPIs associated with operational excellence. So once they have their plan in place, they start taking action. And once they start taking action, like moving in and leaning into those developments, they capture what they experience. So they immediately capture what did they do well and want to keep on doing, what do they need to stop doing, and what do they need to start doing. They then take that experience and they bring it into the coaching circle and they share it with each other. This experience within itself is another step into that vulnerability where I have to show up with a group of my peers and say what my development goal is, what experience I've taken, and what wins and what losses I experience. But in the coaching circle, what happens is they actually receive positive reinforcement. in relation to what they're doing well, getting very specific feedback, as well as getting suggestions from the group in relation to where they can make adjustments and changes. So if we go back to Joe and Stacy and Ella, one of the things that Ella did is she actually surveyed the members of the ERG to get their feedback in relation to what the priorities should be for the plan. And then the group actually reinforced that with Rosa and told her that that was a very empowering way to elevate the voices within the ERG, have them be active in relation to designing and developing the plan, which would then lead to them being more willing to take on those initiatives, developing that talent and getting greater visibility. On the other side, Stacy actually received feedback that, thank you, Daniel. Stacy also received feedback from the team that because she was focusing on improving a claim process to increase sales to show her strategic ability, that she should tap into the financial consultant so that she can get key information on the sales cycle, where were sales coming from, and how was that important in relation to be able to develop the claim process that she needed that was going to be a broad solution across many functions. As a result of these experiences, each member now becomes invested in each other's success. They start interacting with each other outside of the circle, right? And they become a development power circle. So I have 3 minutes left. So if you want to create a coaching circle within your organization, first of all, be very clear about what the purpose is, what those meaningful experiences need to be to accomplish that purpose, building in a feedback loop, and making sure that you have the commitment needed of the participants in the group. I recommend that the group is small, no more to 3 and 4 people, that you do bring in an external coach that helps with the facilitation, that you have the right on-the-job experiences aligned with the capability that's needed for that business need, right? And that you really select people who are going to take the dedicated time necessary to develop the skill. And so if you're interested in learning more about coaching circles, here's my contact information. I went through a lot of information really quick, and I can guarantee you there was a lot more to share.
Mary, that was great. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. It sounds extraordinary, and I can see why things are going so successful for WeMaax. Wonderful program. Thanks so much. As you think about other programs that you might be interested in joining as a part of our Inspire series and other professional development opportunities at Bridge, Foresight Scouts is coming up. It's an online cohort experience looking at future trends. We're going to be assessing the future of work. So if your organization is trying to figure out what's ahead with the future of work, you might want to join this cohort program. It starts next week and it's over the lunch hour. You just need Zoom and a computer. It'll be really fun. We've also got a creative problem solving workshop coming up that's focused primarily with educators, but anybody can really join. And then another wonderful speaker coming in on conscious leadership, how to lead with success. So lots of things coming up. You can check us out at bridgeinnovate.com under our events page, and we would love to see you again. Thank you, Mary. And we're looking forward to hearing more about your great work in coaching circles. And thanks everyone for joining today. We'll see you soon on another Bridge Inspire series program. Thanks now. Bye.